You have not met expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
Live television is a playground for the unexpected, where anything can happen and often does.
DD Megadoodoo, Mangudu.
The roads in Susquehanna County have people fed up.
From shocking mishaps that derail entire broadcasts to on-air behavior that sparks public outrage, the world of live television never fails to deliver jaw-dropping drama. Some of these moments are so wild and could cost anchors their careers. So, join us as we uncover the stories behind the wildest and most unbelievable moments in television history. Number 20, Anchor Disarray. In 2014, a live news debate in Jordan took an unexpected turn when two journalists engaged in a heated argument over the Syrian conflict. What began as a passionate discussion quickly spiraled into a physical altercation. The tension escalated when one anchor accused his colleague, Shahir al-Jahari, of supporting the Syrian opposition, igniting a fierce exchange. Despite the efforts of a third anchor to intervene and calm the situation, the two men lost control, shoving the news desk back and forth until it collapsed entirely. Viewers watched in disbelief as the situation became more chaotic. The altercation, which could have escalated further, was only diffused when security personnel rushed onto the set and physically removed both journalists. This unusual on-air confrontation left audiences stunned, as newsrooms are typically expected to maintain a level of decorum even during intense debates. While physical confrontation on live TV is shocking enough, another reporter faced injury live on air in a different kind of shocking manner. Number 19. Reporter falls off the boat in an interview. In Kampen, Netherlands, a live television interview took a dramatic turn when a Dutch reporter unexpectedly fell off a boat during a live broadcast. The reporter was aboard the vessel, interviewing the mayor of the town, when things took a slip turn. After asking her first question, she reached for a line to steady herself but seemed to lose her balance and, in a moment of shock, toppled overboard into the water below. The crew on the boat quickly reacted, with some scrambling to assist, while the camera cut away from the unexpected scene. The incident quickly went viral, with many viewers expressing surprise and amusement at the situation. However, not everyone was convinced. Some skeptics took to social media, including YouTube, to suggest that the entire event could have been staged for comedy or attention-grabbing purposes. Regardless of the speculation, the reporter's fall became an unforgettable moment. Whether planned or accidental, it certainly made for an unforgettable live broadcast. And what happens when a simple, unplanned moment on live TV spirals into unexpected outrage? Let's dive into a shocking incident that sparked heated debates worldwide. Number 18. The Distracted Anchor. In 2017, Natasha Exelby, an Australian news anchor, was caught daydreaming on air when the camera unexpectedly returned to her. She appeared startled but quickly regained her composure, smoothly transitioning to the next segment. While she handled the situation with poise, the real controversy came. After the broadcast, Natasha was fired from her position at the network. Viewers weren't upset about her brief lapse in attention. Instead, they were outraged that she was dismissed for a simple human moment. Many argued that the punishment was too harsh for such a minor mistake. Natasha, showing grace in the face of the backlash, tweeted, "Thank you all for your generous support. Not my finest hour. Myself and my mesmerizing pen honorably salute you." While some criticized her for being unprofessional, the majority of the public stood behind her, feeling she was unfairly punished. If you think losing your job over a distracted moment is emotional, imagine having to announce your husband's death live on air. Now that's a heartbreak captured on TV. Number 17. News anchor reports husband's death. In a heartbreaking turn of events, Indian news anchor Supreet Kaur showed remarkable professionalism during a live broadcast in 2019, reporting on a deadly road accident on NH 353 near Lahore Road, Padav, Chhattisgarh. As Kaur calmly shared details of the victims, including their injuries and names, she began to suspect that her husband might be among them. Despite the growing fear, she continued to report without breaking down, even as images of the bloodied victims were displayed on screen. Her composure was nothing short of extraordinary, as she kept her emotions in check, focusing on her duty as a journalist. However, after the broadcast concluded, Kaur learned the devastating truth. Her husband was one of the victims who had tragically lost his life in the accident. The couple had been married for just 18 months. The news rocked Kaur's world, and she broke down after the show ended. In response to her extraordinary professionalism, the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel, tweeted his condolences and praised her for her bravery in handling such a personal tragedy on live television. Dealing with family matters can be deeply emotional, as seen next, where a journalist risked it all to defend his brother live on air. Number 16. Family ties and professionalism. Chris Cuomo, once a prominent anchor, found his career at CNN abruptly cut short in December 2020 after his efforts to defend his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, came under scrutiny. Andrew Cuomo faced multiple accusations of sexual harassment, which led to his resignation in August 2021. As the controversy unfolded, Chris Cuomo used his position and resources to assist his brother, sparking ethical concerns. It was revealed that Chris had been actively involved in strategizing Andrew's defense, including leveraging his media connections to gather information on his brother's accusers. This raised questions about journalistic integrity, as Chris blurred the line between familial loyalty and professional responsibility. In response, CNN hired an outside law firm to investigate the extent of Chris Cuomo's involvement. The investigation concluded that his actions violated network policies. On December 4, 2021, CNN President Jeff Zucker terminated Cuomo's employment, citing newly discovered evidence and a breach of trust. Chris Cuomo's termination marked a dramatic end to his time at CNN. Moving on from emotional family moments, let's head to a moment of pure devastation that left viewers speechless. Number 15. The Los Angeles earthquake on live TV. In the early hours of a typical morning in 2014, two Los Angeles news anchors were in the midst of their usual broadcast when the unexpected happened. A powerful earthquake struck. The male anchor's face first went pale as the ground beneath them began to shake violently. He immediately shouted, "We're having an earthquake! Earthquake! We're having an earthquake!" As the tremors intensified, the anchors instinctively ducked for cover under the desk while the crew members scrambled to get to safety. One reporter, reflecting on the chaos, described it as the most intense earthquake he had ever experienced while on set. Although earthquakes are a frequent occurrence in Los Angeles, this particular event stood out for its severity. The studio, filled with over 300 hanging lights, some weighing as much as 25 pounds, presented a significant hazard. Although the lights didn't fall, watching them sway back and forth during the tremors made the moment even more nerve-wracking. The potential for a light fixture to fall during the tremors could have caused severe injuries or worse. Fortunately, the anchor's quick thinking to take cover, combined with some luck, allowed them to emerge from the ordeal unharmed. Moving on swiftly from the earthquake, let's focus on a moment when a reporter was suddenly grabbed live on air. Number 14. Disturbing assault. In 2016, while covering the death of iconic singer David Bowie in Hollywood, reporter Mary was suddenly thrust into a terrifying and unprovoked assault. As she was delivering her report live on air, a man in a grey hooded sweatshirt unexpectedly appeared behind her, flashing a smile. Before she could react, the man lunged at her, causing the camera to quickly cut away from the live shot. The crew immediately sprang into action, intervening to protect Mary from the attacker. For a brief moment, viewers caught a glimpse of the assailant fleeing the scene, heightening the unsettling nature of the incident. This assault, which occurred live on television, left viewers shocked and disturbed. Despite the man's face being clearly captured on camera, it remains unclear whether he was ever caught or identified. The motive behind the attack also remains unknown, making the incident all the more chilling. Mary's ability to maintain her composure during the attack and the quick response from the crew helped avert a potentially more dangerous situation. Being grabbed and assaulted live on air was deeply unsettling for Mary. But how does it stack up against cases where reporters were held at gunpoint during live broadcasts? Well, let's find out. Number 13. Hostage crisis on air. In January 2024, Ecuador was rocked by a violent conflict between criminal gangs and the government, leading to the declaration of a state of emergency. But no one could have anticipated the terrifying turn of events that unfolded during a live broadcast on the TC news station. Armed intruders stormed the studio, taking the news crew hostage while millions of viewers watched in horror. Amid the chaos, a woman's voice could be heard pleading, "Don't shoot, please don't shoot." The assailants demanded the news anchor deliver a message on their behalf, turning the broadcast into a high-stakes hostage crisis. For 20 tense minutes, the situation escalated, leaving the crew and audience on edge. The criminals had one goal: to seize control of the country, and the media was a crucial part of their strategy. As the situation reached its peak, the police and military forces quickly surrounded the building, successfully arresting the assailants without further bloodshed. Despite the harrowing experience, the crew emerged physically unharmed, though undoubtedly shaken. The incident shows the entire world the dangerous intersection between media and conflict in today's world, as well as the unexpected risks faced by journalists working in volatile regions. Let's move on from being held hostage on live TV and shift to another shocking incident, and what happened next will leave you stunned. Number 12. The Mexican Tremor of Terror. In 2017, a live broadcast from a Mexican news station was abruptly interrupted when a devastating 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck. As the tremors shook the studio, lights flashed and alarms sounded. The reporter, sensing the imminent danger, quickly evacuated to safety. Meanwhile, the anchor, who remained on set, tried to maintain composure, reassuring viewers to stay calm despite his visible distress. The earthquake caused widespread devastation, claiming the lives of 361 people and leaving approximately 6,000 others injured. It was one of the most severe earthquakes Mexico had experienced in years, and the destruction was overwhelming. Buildings collapsed, homes were destroyed, and the damage was extensive, with rescue teams working tirelessly to find survivors amid the rubble. Although earthquakes are relatively common in Mexico, the sheer magnitude and the live coverage made this event stand out. It was a rare instance where a major natural disaster was captured in real time, showing the chaos and fear that unfolded inside the studio. Natural disasters can strike unexpectedly during live broadcasts, but what happens when the danger comes from within the studio itself? Well, let's look at a shocking instance of news that left both the crew and viewers in complete fear and disbelief. Number 11. A disturbing takeover. In 2015, the Netherlands witnessed a chilling incident of news hijacking that left viewers and newsroom staff in shock. During a routine broadcast on NOS News Channel, a 19-year-old man, dressed sharply in a suit and wielding what appeared to be a gun, stormed into the studio. Calm yet unnerving, he demanded to speak directly with CNN, claiming he had a critical message to deliver. The intruder allowed most of the staff to leave, but held a few hostage, pacing the studio and repeatedly assuring them of their safety. He reportedly said that he was just as nervous as his hostages, adding that he would release everyone once his demands were met. However, the crew, suspecting his true intentions, pretended to contact CNN while covertly signaling law enforcement. In a dramatic turn, police stormed the studio, catching the intruder off guard. He surrendered without resistance, and it was soon revealed that his weapon was a replica. The incident concluded without injuries, but the shock lingered. Tried as an adult, he claimed to be part of a hacker collective, seeking attention rather than having an ideological or criminal goal, and he received a prison sentence. Moving away from this hostage situation, let's now look at an incident in South Africa, where a reporter was unexpectedly robbed on air. Number 10. Live robbery incident. One evening in South Africa, journalist Vuyo Mavoko was delivering a live report for the South African Broadcasting Corporation when an unexpected and chilling event occurred. As he stood in front of the camera, preparing to discuss an upcoming segment, two men suddenly appeared behind him. Initially, Vuyo assumed they were merely disruptive onlookers, a common occurrence during live broadcasts. However, it soon became clear that their intentions were far more threatening. In a shocking twist, the men attempted to rob Vuyo and his news crew while the cameras were rolling. Vuyo could be heard exclaiming, "We're being mugged! Hey, we're being mugged!" as the situation escalated. Unknown to the robbers, their actions were being broadcast live, and their faces were clearly captured on camera. The incident left viewers stunned and deeply unsettled as the terrifying ordeal unfolded in real time. Fortunately, the footage provided law enforcement with crucial evidence, leading to the swift identification and arrest of the culprits. Although no one was physically harmed, the experience showcases the unpredictable dangers reporters can face in the field. Vuyo's composure under pressure highlighted his professionalism despite the harrowing circumstances. Now let's shift to a more recent event, where a TV anchor was struck by flying debris while reporting live from the front lines of a natural disaster. Number 9. Anderson Cooper's direct hit. In a recent event that took place in October 2024, a veteran news anchor, Anderson Cooper, was reporting live from Bradenton, Florida, as Hurricane Milton made landfall. The hurricane, a Category 3 storm with 120 miles per hour winds, brought severe conditions to the area. While reporting, the anchor was struck in the head by flying debris, which caused an immediate reaction. The anchor could be heard expressing surprise as the large white object flew into the shot. The anchor, visibly shaken, mentioned that the situation was becoming unsafe and indicated they would likely move inside soon. The storm's intensity was felt firsthand, and many viewers expressed their concern for the anchor's safety, with some sharing how unsettling it was to see someone they admired in such a dangerous situation. After a brief moment of uncertainty, he confirmed that he would be moving indoors to continue the coverage. As live broadcasts continue to present high-stakes moments, some can take an unexpected turn in a split second. Number 8. Julie Chin's unbelievable stroke. Oklahoma news anchor Julie Chin had always been a picture of composure and professionalism. But one morning, something went terribly wrong. During her usual broadcast, she suddenly started slurring her words. At first, it seemed like a minor slip-up, but as her speech became more garbled, it became clear that something serious was happening. Julie struggled to finish her sentences, stammering, "Today, before losing vision in one eye." The moment of realization hit her hard. She was having a stroke, and it was happening live on air. Minutes earlier, she had been feeling perfectly fine. But now, with her condition worsening, her colleagues quickly recognized the gravity of the situation. Without hesitation, they called 911 for emergency assistance. Viewers who noticed her distress also reached out to the station, alerting them to the medical emergency unfolding before their eyes. Julie was swiftly taken to the hospital, where she received the urgent care she needed. Miraculously, she recovered, and her story became a powerful example of strength and professionalism under unimaginable circumstances. What truly saved Julie's life was the swift action of her colleagues and the attentive viewers who recognized the signs of a stroke. Now let's shift our focus to another shocking live broadcast moment, this time a meteorologist fainting incident on air. Number 7. Sudden collapse. In 2016, Los Angeles viewers witnessed a shocking live moment when meteorologist Alyssa Carlson fainted on air during a routine broadcast. After passing the segment to her, Alyssa casually uttered, "This really is the calm before the storm," before suddenly slumping over and collapsing on the floor. The news anchors were visibly stunned, unsure of what had just happened. While Alyssa had experienced a medical issue 9 years earlier, when a heart valve problem was diagnosed after a similar fainting episode, she confirmed that this incident was unrelated. The cause of her collapse remained unclear, adding to the shock of the moment. Despite the severity of the situation, Alyssa recovered and reassured the audience that she would be fine. From this unexpected slump to a scandal, let's dive into an infamous controversy that nearly altered the course of the United States. Number 6. The Killian Document Controversy. The Killian Document controversy remains one of the most infamous moments in television journalism. Just 2 weeks before the 2004 US presidential elections, CBS aired a shocking segment on 60 Minutes 2, where anchor Dan Rather presented the so-called Killian documents. These memos, allegedly written by George Bush's superior officer, accused Bush of receiving preferential treatment to avoid military service during the Vietnam War. The story created a media firestorm, but it quickly unraveled when online experts began dissecting the documents, claiming they were modern forgeries created with a typewriter font inconsistent with the 1970s. Under mounting criticism, CBS retracted the report, apologized, and fired the producers responsible. Despite the backlash, the network and Rather stood by the claims, insisting the story's premise was accurate, even if the documents couldn't be authenticated. Rather later explained that critics focused on discrediting the process rather than the truth itself. However, the damage was done. His decades-long career at CBS came to an abrupt end not long after the controversy. The incident inspired the 2015 film Truth, offering a dramatized look at the risks of journalism intersecting with politics during a heated election. Now, let's turn our attention to a far more dangerous situation, where the most dangerous criminal organization interrupted a live broadcast. Number 5. The rise of the Taliban. In 2021, Afghanistan faced a turning point as the Taliban regained power following the withdrawal of American forces. Sweeping through the country, the Taliban captured government institutions and media outlets, signaling a return to their authoritarian rule. During one live broadcast, a chilling moment unfolded when armed Taliban members stormed a news studio. The anchor, surrounded by militants, appeared visibly shaken as he delivered their message urging citizens to remain in Afghanistan. This event highlighted the immediate impact of the Taliban's takeover 16 on the nation's press. Since then, over 600 media outlets have shut down, unable to operate under the new regime. Female news presenters, once symbols of progress, are now forced to follow rigid dress codes and face severe restrictions. The anchor's composure during such a tense moment likely saved his life, but the fear and uncertainty of that broadcast lingered with viewers worldwide. From a broadcast that captured the chilling impact of the Taliban's return to power, let's now turn our attention to TV anchors, whose careers came to an abrupt halt due to scandalous allegations. Number 4. Bob Beckel's racial comments. Starting our list is Bob Beckel, a well-known political commentator and former co-host of Fox News' The Five, a show that combines political analysis with lively debates. Joining Fox News in 2011, Beckel quickly became known for his outspoken opinions, often representing the liberal viewpoint in a predominantly conservative setting. In 2015, Beckel was dismissed from The Five after being absent for several months, allegedly due to back surgery. When he was later reinstated in 2017, his return was short-lived as his career at Fox News came to a dramatic end due to a series of racially insensitive comments. Beckel's trouble began when he made several derogatory remarks about Muslims and Asian Americans, which sparked outrage. His comments, including calling Chinese people the single biggest threat to the national security of the US, was viewed as offensive and inappropriate. These remarks did not go unnoticed and led to an internal investigation. In yet another controversy, Beckel made racially insensitive remarks about a black IT worker who came to his office to fix his computer. He allegedly stormed out, citing the employee's race as the reason for his departure, and even attempted to intimidate the worker afterward. Fox News, facing mounting backlash, decided to part ways with Beckel permanently to protect its reputation. Bob Beckel was fired directly after this. And moving on from how Bob Beckel's on-air blunders raised eyebrows, let's move on to what was later unraveled about another prominent figure in broadcasting that shocked the world in ways you won't believe. Number 3. Charlie Rose's farewell. For over 4 decades, Charlie Rose was the face of TV journalism, anchoring programs that made him a household name. But everything came crashing down in 2017 when the Me Too movement exposed his hidden dark side. The Washington Post revealed multiple accusations of misconduct, many coming from women who had worked for him early in their careers and had long been silenced by the power imbalance. One of the most shocking accounts came from Gina Riggi, Rose's makeup artist for 22 years. She described the studio environment as a sexual hunting ground, recalling how she faced abusive, misogynistic behavior from Rose. The harassment escalated to such an extent that Riggy used a hand mirror as a barrier to protect herself from his advances. It wasn't just on the set. Rose's alleged misdeeds spread to his Manhattan and Hamptons homes, as well as high-end restaurants where he lured young women with promises of career opportunities, only to take advantage of them in private meetings disguised as casual get-togethers. Despite complaints, no action was taken by his superiors, even after one violent incident where Rose twisted Riggy's arm during a makeup session. Just a day after the article went public, Rose's shows were suspended, and he was swiftly removed from his position. Though he apologized, he downplayed some allegations. Now let's move on from Charlie Rose's shocking fall to a more career-ending scandal that had the legacies of another anchor destroyed. Who is this anchor? What led to his downfall? And how did the industry react? Number 2. Bill O'Reilly's downfall. The popular host of The O'Reilly Factor, Bill O'Reilly was a major force on Fox News for 16 years. He was known for his bold opinions and commanding presence, making his show one of the most watched on cable news. But in April 2017, his career came crashing down when the New York Times revealed shocking details about harassment lawsuits against him. The report showed that O'Reilly had paid millions of dollars to settle claims from multiple women. The backlash was immediate. Advertisers pulled out of his show, and the pressure on Fox News grew too strong to ignore. In the end, O'Reilly and the network agreed to part ways, ending his long-running career at Fox. His departure was a big moment during the #MeToo movement, proving that even powerful media figures could be held accountable. After leaving Fox, O'Reilly started hosting a show on the First TV, a smaller conservative platform. Continuing with shocking revelations about TV anchors, let's end our list with another anchor whose career also ended in disgrace. Number 1. Ed Henry's scandalous revelations. Ed Henry, former chief White House correspondent for Fox News, found his career in jeopardy following a scandal. Allegations surfaced that he had an affair with a cocktail hostess in Las Vegas, prompting Fox News to announce that they were aware of his personal issues and that he would be taking time off to address them. As a result, Henry was suspended for 4 months. Despite attempts to rebuild his reputation, new accusations emerged in 2020. One woman shared, "I felt he had the power to ruin my career, and I didn't have a voice until now." Henry faced lawsuits from 2 women who accused him of harassment and assault. Once these claims were revealed, he was suspended and eventually fired after an internal investigation. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching.